Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I'm trying to publish videos as and when I can. Like I say, I'm still recovering with my health and a number of other stuff, right? I've got so many things to get back in order. It's really prioritizing the more important stuff, then getting on with this stuff as a secondary. Hopefully I'll be back to uploading daily soon. Anyway, that's not the main topic for today's video, as I'm sure you understand. I want to talk to you about something that I've realized as a trend in my own life, if I'm honest, and perhaps something that a lot of people, young or old, right, this is absolutely irrespective of age, face. A big thing that holds most people back from their dreams. It's so warm in the car, guys. I'm going to open the window. Let's open the window. The big thing that holds most people back from their dreams, and what I've realised in my life, and that's why I kind of came up with this or understood this, there is a cycle that most people's life goes through which keeps them away from achieving what they want. This cycle is what I kind of call the boom bust. I'm going to explain what this means. I'll explain what it means in general, then I'll explain how it applies to me, how it might apply to you guys. Most people get themselves into a position where they need to improve something. We can think about anything in the world, but I'm going to use the example of money, because money seems to be the most common one, and it's very easy to quantify and justify this and explain it, right? So, you start off broke. Nobody wants to be broke, and it's not that easy to sustain a life being broke, so you want to get some money. Most people get a certain amount of money. Let's say that the amount of money that you want or need is, let's say, 10,000, for example. 10,000 is going to cover your bills, let's say, just in this theoretical example. It's going to buy what you want to buy, this and that and everything else. So you get to this 10k mark, we'll say, and then you realise that life is quite comfortable. The priorities are paid for, the basic needs are met. And what most people face in this period is they start to get complacent and comfortable, failing to acknowledge how bad the situation was in the first place. So like I say, you get this 10 grand and you decide, I can work a bit less, everything is okay, a little bit of work, a little bit of play, so on and so forth. And people think this is balance. However, they fail to understand two things. Number one, how quickly you can go back to point A. And number two, how much of an issue this process is. This is what holds most people back from their dreams. I like to think of myself, guys, as a very self-analytical person, and that is sometimes good, sometimes bad. But applying this to the topic in question, what it basically means is I like to look at where I've gone wrong and look at how I can avoid that. And I can acknowledge that in the past in my life, I get to a certain, let's say, financial goal, and then life becomes extremely comfortable. Let's say it's, in fact no, because then people are going to guess the number. It's not necessarily a specific number, but let's say an amount where your bills are paid, your food's paid, your rent's paid times 2, so you can do it for a year or 2 years. You can go 2 years without doing anything. Most people will see this as a dream, but the real dream is having this ability for the rest of your life. And that's something which takes a couple of years to achieve at the very least, right? It would involve building a business of a few 100,000, possibly a few million, depending on what lifestyle that you want, maybe even more than that. And that's where I'm trying to differentiate myself from my former self in the past. I'm lucky that I've learned this lesson at 21, and I'm very glad that I have as well. I've learned that there is a scenario in life where you, or anybody, gets this situation where they are in a loop. They're in this loop between being okay, being broke, being okay, being broke. And that is where you end up in two situations. Number one, it's very anxious or very anxiety inducing. I think everybody can agree with that, everyone who's done it. Number two, it never forwards you in life. And number three, it's just a very difficult spot to be in. It makes you throw away opportunities because you're failing to acknowledge the very long-term goal. And here's the thing, everybody has a very long-term goal, but they don't understand how their actions now affect it. I'm not going to lie to you guys, the last 2 or 3, maybe 4 months, I've been quite ill. The amount of work I did and could do was reduced. And I'm not going to be mad at myself for that. Like I say, I had a period of illness. If it wasn't for that, I'd have been going well. Now I'm starting to get my health fully back to where it needs to be. It's about remembering those disciplines from winter last year that kept me so strong. I don't want to say the number, guys, but I built up what I think to be, personally, it's very relative, but I think I've got a substantial amount of savings right now and investments. And it really all came from August last year to realistically January, February time. If I worked in that way, for 1 year, I would have such an amount of money. And by the way, that's what I intend to do. But here's the thing. We all know it's very, very easy, if you can, whilst you can, to fall into this trap where you don't carry on working. And I think everyone can admit this if they're being honest, right? Now the bills are paid, the food's paid, I don't struggle for anything I can afford, until you can't. Because the money does erode. You can't spend nothing if you want to have a life. So you go back to square one. And this is a doom cycle most people find themselves in. They get enough money to quit that job and they quit that job. They get enough money to not work as hard and they don't work as hard. And that's fine if you're comfortable with this lifestyle. I know some people who genuinely are there. They don't want a high pressure job. They don't want a high income business. And they like the thought of, let's say, coming to England for winter, working for 6 months in some sort of a maybe part-time job or something like that. And then they go to Thailand, let's say, all summer. Or perhaps vice versa, because I think that makes more sense. England's got a very nice summertime, to be honest, although it does have a very unpleasant winter. So when I hear people who say, I don't want to build a 6-figure business, I'm okay coming to England, I work for summer, I see my friends for 6 months or whatever, then I go to Thailand, I see my friends, and I can relax because it's so much cheaper to live. That seems to be this boom-bust cycle, but I don't see any issues with that, if the people are happy with it. But most people do have a big dream, and they do want to achieve it. But they fail to acknowledge how important it is to go about doing this. Now, I've said it before and I've said it again. I don't know who my videos are useful for. I make them perhaps for my own entertainment. I know some of my videos on this channel have done quite well, and I do appreciate it all. But what do you guys think? What's your thoughts on this? And what do you think the answer is going forwards? Is the answer that we need to acknowledge that we can work for a year, 2 years? Is it something else? Is it that we need to acknowledge that there's a long period of hard work? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. I understand for me, and I know this is where we get to the subjective, that I have a big goal. And the businesses that I have right now are great to help me, but it's time for something bigger moving forwards. I'm going to tell you all about that in the future. I don't know if this video was useful, but do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Goodbye for now, guys, and hopefully I will see you again.